agenda 7.2, Lindsey Mazza. Is Lindsey Mazza here? Oh, there you are. Okay. Lindsey Mazza, she's an inspirational speaker, inclusive leadership expert. She wants to speak to council to share her lived experiences as someone with a physical disability and how it's impacted her career and her career change from being a lawyer to an inclusion leadership expert and a disability advocate. So Lindsey, welcome and congratulations on winning your 40 Under 40 award.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I met Mr. Mayor at the award, and by my surprise that evening, I won the best in class. So I was able to say a few words and share my journey and wanted to continue the important conversation here tonight. And in order to do that, I just need to share a little bit about my journey from law to what I do now, which is inclusive leadership, consulting, speaking, and disability advocacy. So I was born with a physical disability called Holt-Oram syndrome, and I spent my entire life not talking about it, which sounds crazy. And I learned from a very young age that talking about it didn't serve me. I didn't receive the accommodations or accessibility requests that I required. My earliest memory was at the age of 6. Despite my parents putting accommodations in place at school, my teacher denied them to me. So I learned then that I had to start advocating for myself, and in order to do that, the safest thing for me to do was to create this barrier, work harder, figure out my own accommodations, and that's what I did. And when the time came for me to decide what career I would choose, I chose to be a lawyer because I thought I've been an advocate for myself my whole life. I'll use my advocacy skills to advocate for other people. And I thought the legal profession would be accessible, and it wasn't. I was denied my accommodations to write my law school entrance exams, and I had to appeal that process. Then I went to law school. The accessibility center was not accessible. Then I went on to practice in a profession that was full of barriers. The courthouses, not one of them is fully accessible, including here in Niagara region. And the legal profession is all about the billable hour. So there are no accommodations made for those who are already working harder. By the time I was 29, I decided I want to stop lining somebody else's pocket since I was working harder than everybody else, and I built a multi-city firm from the ground up. And I did all of this while hiding in plain sight. And then I lost my dad in October of 2023, and he had the same physical disability as me, had a legal profession, was a Superior Court judge, and also a disability advocate. So I lost my teammate, and it was in the loss of him that I realized that there are so many people out there who do not have an advocate speaking for them, and those people are people with disabilities. In 2022, the Canadian census confirmed that there are 8 million Canadians over the age of 15 identifying with more than one disability. That's 8 million people that are continuing to live in the shadows. So I took a leap of faith, I quit law, and now I'm using my advocacy skills to shift this very important needle. And what I do know is that business owners, CEOs, everybody looking to make a change is really worried about the bottom line. We're all worried about numbers. And I've learned that in order for us to achieve our maximum profitability, we have to be inclusive leaders, and we're failing left, right, and center. And we're failing because we're focused on DEI initiatives, but we're only focusing on the D of that acronym. We're only focusing on diversity. We're not focusing on inclusion or equitable opportunity, and that's where I come in. My work is to shift that and to create the change, and in order for us to actually create inclusion, we have to create equal opportunities. If we are not creating businesses and job opportunities where people with all abilities can even apply to those jobs and enter the building, we are not achieving the full spectrum of DEI initiatives. Government basics and compliance are failing. The world is not accessible, and I'm here to tell you from a lived experience and also as a lawyer. And the only way that we can change that is to start including people like me at the table. I don't see people like me at the table, never. So I've had to create my own table, and that's why I'm here tonight, because people need to get in touch so that we can start having these conversations. And I would encourage you to start having these conversations that you're uncomfortable with, because what I've noticed is, in an effort to be polite, we are turning a blind eye to those that need our allyship. So in order to be an ally, let's start having the conversation, and please get in touch with me so we can start we can start making the change, because we continue to come up against it, and people with disabilities, the numbers are increasing, especially with an aging population.
Thank you, Lindsay. Do we
you.
have any questions for Lindsay or any comments? No. So maybe you can just tell at what point you made the decision and why you left the field of law. You didn't feel that you could use that to help move change?
Sure. Yeah, it's only been it's been less than a year. It was last fall, and the momentum has been quite significant. I've been all over the Canadian media circuit. I've been on the Social, CTV Your Morning, CBC. I'm heading back there next week. And it's been one booking after the next. I'm going back on CP24 tomorrow morning, which tells me the necessity of this conversation. And that the decision, I haven't looked back. I mean, I say to people, if you see me practicing law again in the traditional sense, stage an intervention, because I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, using my voice in a different way. So people can get in touch with me. My website is lindseymazza.com. I'm on social media. And I really just need to reiterate that next time you're at a business meeting and you're sitting around a table, look around and ask yourself, who are the people giving advice on the issues that need to be, where changes need to be made? Because if they don't have a lived experience, you can't possibly be making the appropriate change.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Patel.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I love when you say your spirit, when you said there was no room on a table for me, so I created my own table.
Yeah.
That's what the message needs, that message needs to get out, especially for young kids and anybody who's living with disability. They need to understand that, there's lots of struggles out there. Even though we think, as you mentioned at DEI, it does focus more on diversity, not on equity and inclusion. Mm-hmm. I personally sit on DEI committee myself, and what you pointed out, it does actually ring a bell, because you know what, we don't see it from that lens. So we'll love to have information, and hopefully we can have you to come speak at one of our summit. It's basic. You have great knowledge, and I hope you can spread it and open people's eyes that their struggles are still out there and everything is not accessible. And I know Councillor Coco sits on Accessibility Committee, and I think she'll appreciate that too. Yeah. So thank you very much for coming here and giving us deep knowledge of what is happening, and thank you so much for advocating for people who can't advocate for themselves. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments of council? So maybe we can get a motion to receive the presentation of Councillor Patel, seconded by Councillor Lococo. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor? Okay, thank you for that. And Lindsay, I just want to say thank you. Appreciate your bravery and your advocacy and making the sacrifices to move this issue forward, because I know you represent a lot of people that maybe don't have the voice and certainly don't have the confidence to speak the way you do publicly as well. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.